Another day at work, I guess, working on the office here. It's a little cold, as you can see. I've got a propane heater in the back down there, and even the lens is fogging up a little bit from the temperature change. Trying to warm it up in here to get it warm enough so I can get, well, great stuff back there. Just some foam in a can to kind of seal up the air leaks in the roof line and in the new partition wall that I put in before I get insulation up, which is behind me. Decided to change routes, go with fiberglass, so it's simple and easy and cheaper, more importantly, and I'm so excited to get this finished so I can get back to really actually higher quality production for sure. So that's what's going on today. As you can tell, I've got a lot done since the first video I did. I've got this partition wall up, I've got everything framed, everything down, everything wired, window, 2 windows actually, and you know, man door over there to get through to the other side. So yeah, I'll show you what I've been doing and continue sharing my journey into making this place a much better and much better outfitted studio, so you can reap the benefits and I can be a lot happier about what I'm producing and produce better content for you. So we'll get after it. So before I get too far into showing you progress, I want to first thank everybody for being concerned that I was removing collar ties from this roof. They definitely appear that they could be collar ties, and as you know, or as some people know, obviously, in the comments section, collar ties are definitely structural and definitely help hold the walls from blowing out and the roof ridge from sinking. Now, that is pretty standard when there is not a main ridge beam. This place has a massive ridge beam that is in place, and I'll explain it to you and show it to you here in a moment. But like I said, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody being concerned that I was removing structural pieces from the building. These collar ties here on this side, or the ties that look like collar ties but are really just supports for storage. And I can tell you that. Why? There's one nail on the ends on the walls, the end walls, and there's no nails here at all, not even one. As you can see, I'll move this door out of the way. As you can see, there's just a central 2x4 that they end on like this. They don't do anything. They tied to each other all the way across, and they were tied together with, again, one nail. Don't know if you can see that. That's one nail right there. And there's kind of hurricane hangers that somebody put up after, much later, when the building was built. And they're supported by a 2x4, a central 2x4 that runs between the wall and the center beam supports here. So yeah, not structural, not even remotely close, and not required down here because the roof ridge beam is massive as well as centrally supported as well, and I'll show you that here as you know, so you can understand. See these 2 4x4s? They support an overlap, which is up in the top there. I don't know if you can see the overlap area, but they go up inside of the main beam, the main ridge beam, which is made of 2x12s, which sandwich 2x, looks like 8s, 2x10s, which sandwiches 3/4 inch plywood, all glued together, all through bolted on the main supports in the center, also through bolted to 4x4s in the center, on the walls, the end walls, the gable walls, I think. And yeah, so that ridge is supported by itself, which holds up the roof and will prevent the ridge from sagging, and it will also prevent that workload from where, you know, the roof would be pushing down, which would push the rafters out to the walls. It eliminates all that. So these aren't structural, it's just storage. There's literally 2 nails, one on each end holding it. There's nothing there. Yeah, they do give some sort of support, and I'll tie some stuff back in, but thank you. Anyway, thanks for the concern, but it's not there, not needed because of this massive beam that's up at the top there. And as you can see, I've done a lot of work since the last video, so I can't wait to show you progress that's happened and show you the progress that I've been making, because it's much better. And even in here right now, acoustically, it's a lot better too. It's a little bit of echo because it's just concrete floors at the moment, you know, and there's nothing on the walls. I don't have any acoustic paneling in here. You know, I plan on adding a lot of different things in here, including sound dampening panels to make the audio sound much better for you. I'm gonna have carpet in here as well. So overall, it's just going to be a far better quality production setup that I can't wait to share, and I cannot wait to get in there. So I'll show you some progress as I've been moving along. And again, I can't appreciate your concerns enough, because I don't want to die, and I'm glad that you don't want me to die either. So thank you very much. So actually, slight change of plans. Heather talked some sense into me. I'm just gonna use the existing ceiling as a ceiling. Just gonna taper up like this. Bigger, better. We don't need so much storage. So that's what's gonna happen. And as you can see, these marks on the ground kind of laid out with some electrical tape, kind of some base walls where they're gonna be. And I also ended up taking, there was another 2x4 here alongside this one that also supported these storage rafters, I guess. So I've removed those so I can bump the wall back just a little bit, so I've got enough space for the cabinets and enough space in the bathroom as well. It'll be really narrow in there, but that's not the important part of this place. So yeah, it's a lot easier, I think. Even though the tin roof is there and I wish they would have put plywood down, I think probably just gonna use spray foam, the good stuff that seals up everything, and just kind of do the roof. It'll kill all the sound from the acorns and the sticks falling on the roof. It'll really insulate it as well. And then just run standard, you know, household insulation and the rest of the walls. It'd be much easier. Laid out, got one window going in right about there. A window going just to the left of this door, and then there'll be the man door right here. Other than that, should be pretty easy and should go really quick, because it'll just be a lot easier without this roof. I'll just tie everything together and blend it all in, and it'll look great and get as much space in here as we possibly can. So now that I have an opening for the window, I'm gonna grab the actual window that I just grabbed at Home Depot, throw it in the window, in the opening, and first step done. So it's the little things that make the biggest difference. Windows. Two big windows. Well, one big window, one small window here in the shop. This one basically is just outside the bathroom and right next to where the squat rack will be, right in this area, so we're good there. And then that one's right next to the door, and none will go on the back wall, no more on the side walls, because there's some stuff going in the corner there. Next is I'm going to be framing up the wall on the side here, this wall that basically is the easiest wall to make. It's the first one that's going to go, and it's going to happen right now. Another day, another stage here on the office build out. I have all 4 walls framed up now. I'm going to sheath this wall on the outside in plywood and run electrical in through the whole building. putting outlets where I want them, switch where I want them, lights where I want them, and a fan where I want it. And then get drywall up, put the cabinets up that just came in too. Another day. It's a lot colder today. I think it's only gonna be a high of 60 degrees. It's very chilly. Cold for me. I'm freezing right now. It's not even 40 degrees yet. So hopefully it'll warm up here quickly. I'll give you an idea as to what I'm working on here. I'm using this great stuff, can, whatever. It's just spray foam in a can basically, but it is insulating and it expands. So what I'm doing is, I'll show you here. On the edge walls, the side walls here, there were some gaps and stuff, and gaps between the boards and things like that. Gaps up in the ceiling. So I'm just closing it off with the spray foam, or the can foam, or whatever you want to call it. Just kind of filling up the gaps. Hard with one hand. Can't dispense it quite easily. Insulation is important for heat factor, but also air. You got to keep the air from moving through, so sealing up the gaps like this, not pretty, but it's going to be hidden all behind the walls. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Well, made some progress over the weekend with Heather. We spent most of the day doing some insulation here. As you can tell, we have all 4 walls insulated and part of the ceiling. The last bit of the ceiling that isn't insulated is the high part, and the low part's all done except for one section, which is narrower than 16 on center, which the roof was. So gonna have to cut down a piece, get it fit in there, and move forward. So Heather had to go to work today and do family stuff, so I'm going to use the drywall hoist that I'm going to be using to actually lift the panels up to hold the insulation up for me, so I can staple it in place before the drywall goes in place. But basically everything else it's basically done. Sealed the walls. I got the door mounted on this side, and that's what I'm going to be doing today, trying to get the rest of this insulated before I get drywall up. So moving along nicely, starting to sound dampening here and keep the heat in better. So exciting all around. This would not be happening without you. Genuinely, thank you very much for supporting this channel. Can't thank you enough, because again, it wouldn't be happening to this level, and I'm so excited to get this finished so I can get back to really actually higher quality production for sure. So